Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you an automatic pumpkin crafter, as well as some other recipes I think will be useful for the majority of Survival World players. Let's start with the one behind me. So this seems to be, to me, the easiest way to design an item compressing recipe. It, deals with iron and all the other things you might want to compress. When this gets up to 9, it overranks this signal of 8, triggering the observer, triggering the pulse. And the nice thing is, and we'll just get some iron bars to show this. The way the repeater works is never going to double trigger. So you can watch this fill in, and we just get a single pulse, meaning we'll never, craft something that isn't filling the entire recipe grid. One wide titleable and very easy to build. But one of the nice things about it is we can also use the new copper lamp in order to integrate a item filter. So we have the same thing over here, the same, observe at the 9 pulse crafter's full recipe type thing here with our little repeaters on 3 ticks. But what we've done here is we've also set up an item filter, and this just means that we can take the items that this filter looks for, chuck them in this barrel, and they'll go into the right slot and craft the items as needed. So this is doing the redstone. I'm just going to take that redstone out so it moves on to the next one. You can see it comes over to the iron. Nice and easy. Good to attach to an iron farm where you might get poppies as well as iron. Of course, we can go even simpler. This is just using the length of a redstone signal to pulse. Also an item filling recipe. This has the advantage if that barrel fills up, it will actually also block these hoppers from filling, so you'll never have the crafters spilling out into the empty ether if you manage to fill up your output. And it's, also compatible with, a simple item filter using the copper block. So this is one that I've seen on Crafty Masterman's channel. I've just added some buttons to make it easier to debug. And obviously, if you're going to be using copper lamps, you also want a light source near them so that, you don't have light updates ruining your system performance. Next up, we have a slight variation on Ray's Works crafting module, I guess you'd call it. It's very similar to what you'll see in his video. I've only made a few changes. Instead of taking a torch off the side into the repeater, I have a comparator with a repeater into the side of it going into the block. This basically just means that when that barrel's filled, this comparator will also lock the locking line. Other than that, it's very similar to the design on Ray's Works channel. Over here, we have the design I showed off earlier on my channel for crafting dispensers. But all of that is probably not what you came over here for. You probably came over here to see how to make pumpkin pies automatically. Well, the design for that is behind me. So in this design, I have 3 item loaders for minecarts. These represent farms that might be producing items that you'd use in your pumpkin pie recipe. It's kind of empty and not running at the moment, so we'll just fill it up and get it going. So we want some sugarcane over here. So I'll just assume that my sugarcane farm just made some extra sugarcane. And I'm going to assume this is pumpkins. Check that that's filling. Yep. And over here we should have eggs. There we go, eggs. And put some eggs in there. And what will happen is these minecarts will fill up, eventually. And when they do, they'll come over to the crafting thing. You'll probably notice this is a standard, item unloading circuit. And the reason for that is, if you'll remember the Ray's Works design, these torches and this line of redstone dust should look very similar. So essentially, we're taking the same advantage of the Ray's Work with the torches at the back holding a line. We've just attached it to a minecart unloader, and we've got the clock on the side. And all that really happens is when each of these hoppers have something in them, so all 3 have to have something in it, it'll start running this clock. The clock runs 4 ticks on, 4 ticks off, which basically allows one item through these locking hoppers, which then come into these crafters to either become sugar or pumpkin pies. It has the advantage that You don't really need very many items in the mine carts for this to go. You just need enough to craft at least one pumpkin pie in order to get going again. Pretty straightforward. The item loaders are pretty standard as well. That's the design there, as you can see. Hopefully one of these designs would be useful to you in your survival world. If you want me to do a deeper explanation on any of them, please just ask in the comments. And thank you for watching.